In section 2, we're going to be solving systems of linear equations that have 3 variables. This topic is required to be taught, but there is a better way of doing this that I will emphasize more later. However, let me show you the technique of addition in solving systems of equations with 3 variables. Notice each one of these has an x and a y and a z, and also that there are 3 equations. So what we're going to do, the addition method, is we're going to choose what variable we want to eliminate. Either the x's, the y's, or the z's. Now, as you'll see in the process for this one, the z's are easier to deal with. So we're going to eliminate the z's. Let's take the first 2 equations and write them by themselves and add them together. Notice when we add these 2 together, the z's are going to subtract out, and we get an equation with just the x and the y. We need to do that again with 2 different equations besides the top 2. For example, the top one and the bottom one. If we take these 2, in order for the z's to subtract out, we've got to multiply the top one by 2. Then we can add them together, and the z's will subtract out. Now we've got a problem much like what we had in the first section. We need to take those 2 equations and put them together just like we did in section 1. You notice the 4x is the same in both of them. So if we multiply either one of them by -1, so that one of them is positive and one of them is negative, we can add them together and have one of the variables. And just like before, once we find one of the variables, we substitute it back in any equation and find one of the other variables. So once we find 2 of the variables, we'll substitute those somewhere and get the 3rd variable. Now, the proper way of answering this would be to put these 3 numbers in parentheses in the proper order. The proper order is the way they're listed in the problem. The x, then the y, then the z.